Welcome to the One Pride Podcast, where we talk all things Detroit Lions news and rumors, and that's what we're going to do in today's video. Go over the latest Detroit Lions information, give it to you, and then, of course, we're going to do the Mailbag segment where you guys run the show, you ask us questions, and we try to answer. Now, I don't know if I'm going to have a guest on or not. I sent the link out, but if that individual pops up, we will have him on, and we will talk some Lions football for sure. Before we do that, though, let's shout out to everybody who joined the chat really quick. Shift God, appreciate you. Lisa DeLorenzo, LM, Anthony Fitzpatrick, the Ant-Man. Make sure you subscribe to Roar of the Lions UK. We got Shift God, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights, Brent DeWitt, Taylor Alexis Janella, Chrome, Bo Booth. Appreciate everybody in here, and you're slowly getting in. If you could do a big old favor, smash that like button. That does help out for sure. Dragon fan, what up, though? No, I'm not wearing glasses because of my eyes. These are the blue light glasses, and I just felt like wearing them today while working, and so it just makes it good when you're around a computer. I just felt like wearing it today. It's like, you know what? Let's do it. So that's what we're rolling today. I'm doing a blue light glasses here and getting it done for Shizzle. So let's get into the latest here. And I don't know about you guys knows, but Netflix, they are doing a wide receiver special. Now, they did the quarterback one last year. They took a couple quarterbacks in the NFL and throughout the NFL season. They did that with St. Brown in the wide receiver. So we get a nice look at Amon-Ra St. Brown when this show starts back up on Netflix. And I'm super excited to watch St. Brown and see how, you know, the season went from his perspective and all of that stuff. So super excited to get in there and to see the man, St. Brown, and behind the scenes a little bit. So that will be taking place here very shortly on Netflix, and I love it, man. More Detroit Lions stuff, the happier I am. That is where it's all about. I got a question, though, for you guys, and I'm always getting asked this when I'm on the radio station. Literally every single time I get on there, doesn't matter who the host is, I get asked the same question every single time. Jerry Reisman gets asked the same question, too, because he gets on the ESPN radio as well. He's a guest on there quite a bit, so I bet you this came from this idea that they have on their page came from the show. And that is, where does the Detroit Lions roster rank in the NFL? Literally every single time I get asked in there. So I want to see what you guys think. Where do you guys think that the Lions roster, just from a roster perspective, compared to the rest of the NFL? Do you think it's the best at 1? Do you think it's worse at 32? For me, this is not a homer take. It's realistically what I believe. Not trying to kiss butts. I think the Lions got the best roster in football. I do. You look all the way around in this team, the depth is just absolutely ludicrous. Teams like the Cowboys, they fell off a little bit this offseason. I think they got worse. The Buffalo Bills, I think they got worse, right? And San Francisco, I think last year's roster is better than what they have this year. But even though they're really good, I think that's the one team we got to look out for. Top 3, Lisa says, yeah, look, if you put top 3, there's no debate in there. If you want to say, like, I think San Francisco's 1, or I think Baltimore's 1, or 1 or 2, for sure. Brent DeWitt says number 2 behind San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, I think the top 3 teams right now is San Francisco, Detroit, and Ravens regarding talent-wise. Kansas City's a really good team. Patrick Mahomes, for sure. I mean, they just won 2 Super Bowls straight. But I was just talking from a roster perspective all the way around, not just like one stud player. And I think that the Lions, San Francisco, and the Ravens are the top tiers of talent all around for their whole rosters. They got some stuff that is good right there. So we got top 3, top 2. I feel you. I think I look at the Lions roster and I just go through the depth, each position group. We can start with kicker. I do think that's probably the weakest right now, but Turner's doing really good in minicamp. Badgley as well is doing his thing, and of course Jake from Michigan Panthers, Jake Bates, is from Minnesota. So then we can look at the kicker. Punter, great. Long snapper, who gives a damn? Okay, you look at the offensive line, best offensive line in football. You look at the wide receiver depth, pretty good damn depth right there all the way around. We still have questions at number 3, but all-around depth, really good. Tight ends, extremely good depth right there. Running back room, amazing. It's the best running back room in football, in my opinion, all the way around. Craig Reynolds and Sione Vaki is your 3 and 4, and they're Craig Reynolds is good, number 3. And, of course, we look at Sione Vaki, I think he's going to be special there. Defensive line, talent on defensive tackle, very high all the way around. DJ Reader, I think Ali McNeil, those two are a really good combination right there. And then the backups are pretty good. Linebacker depth is amazing. Secondary is amazing. Lions really got a football team. You really think that Vildor going to stay? Very possible, yeah. He's had a pretty good camp. I think that he's going to, if he keeps it up, there's no injuries, I think Vildor will make the team. And he'll be like one of the later players on this whole roster. He's going to be up there like 51, 52, 53. That's dang good depth, man. A guy who was starting for us last year is going to be like 5th on the depth chart. That's the type of stuff you want to see. And I do think he has a chance to make the roster. I do have a chance. If he doesn't, it's not that big of a deal, right? Like, that means just our depth is really good, but I think he has a chance to make the roster here. And let's talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. What are your guys' expectations for Jahmyr Gibbs this year? I have very high expectations. I think he's going to be on the cusp of being offensive player of the year. That's the type of season I think he's going to have in the pass and the run game. The guy is just absolutely dynamic. I think he's the best running back in football. I think he is, all around. He has so much to his game that's so good. We all know his speed, right? We know how fast he can be. He has an elite speed. He also has elite hands for a running back, so he can catch out of the backfield. Also, I think breaking tackles, he's elite at that. This dude breaks tackles all the time. They miss tackle, boom, he gains another 10 yards. All right? His durability is pretty good. And he listens, he's patient in the pocket. Absolutely doing good. You really think we got Gibbs has been outperforming since they drafted him. Agree, Taylor Alexis Janela. 100%. He's Chris Johnson. I think he's going to be special. I think, man, he can take his game to the next level. It's hard to expect what he's going to do. You got Bradley saying 100 or 1,000, 1,000 receiving, 1,000 rushing. That would be a ton. If he does that, he would have to be offensive player of the year. Crazy Day does not make the career. Vildor is better than the narrative. Yeah. Look, if he was a number 5 here, the 5th quarterback or the 4th, that's awesome, man, because he was starting for us and he was an upgrade over what we had last year. And yes, he got burned, he had some bad, but dude, we're talking about a guy who's your number 5, number 5. That's great depth. That means he got a hell of a good depth. Who, Mr. Mike? I'm in here. What's up, James Copeland? In the building. Gibbs 1,000. Plus running 614th. Wow, 14 touchdowns. So they think Chad is working. Well, dude, so folks, this is the lull period of Detroit Lions content. It's okay. Guess what? I enjoy it. We got to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys in the comment section. Every Lions creator, bigger, you talk about Woodward Sports, Crunch Time, the lower guys, all the views are down because it's the lull period. And I got to keep it telling you. I got to keep you a secret. I like it. Yes. You say, how do you like that? Because we're so busy through the regular season and in the postseason with the draft that when you're a content creator, you love this period. There's not a lot going on, and you can take it easy and enjoy the summer. Matter of fact, I'm going on vacation in a week. And we're going to be going, I'm taking the fam, and we're going on vacation. And it's going to be nice. So I'm going to be making I'll be able to, you're able to interact more with, and one-on-one too with your subscribers, Anthony, and I like that. And it's more relaxed. There's not a lot of pressure. You just come on here and do it. And so I'm going to take a vacation in about a week. I'll be gone for a week. With that said, You're still going to have videos every single day, except for probably on a Sunday. You're going to have videos even when I'm gone. Just no live stream. So next week, we're not going to do the One Pride podcast on Thursday. I'll be driving. So we'll have a video. I'll drop a video next week on LNU instead of being live, unless somebody else on there goes live, and that's very possible because switching up. And I won't be live on my personal channel. It'll just be a video. So you're going to miss out on 2 lives, one on LNU for me and then one on my personal channel. Vacation. I need it. We all need vacation. So I'll be doing that. So we like it as content creators because we can relax a little bit. We know what's about to hit. As soon as training camp starts, it's all the way full drive until the NFL draft. That's just the way it works. So I'm super excited about that. And we got my man AG, Spirit Detroit Podcast. What's up, bro?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, and you got the green screen looking like a G. Looking like a G. We got Spirit Detroit Podcast on here. Show some love to my man AG. Subscribe to his channel, Spirit Detroit Podcast, part of Lions Nation Unite. And we got a lot of stuff coming on. I got a meeting after this stream, and we're gonna take it to the next level. So super excited. So AG, man, what do you think about Jahmyr Gibbs? What's your expectations for him this year?
It's gonna be great. When I think of Jahmyr Gibbs, it's gonna be Alvin Kamara, Reggie Bush, and I would dare to say Roger Craig. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be big. Him being in the slot, him being more of a pass catcher, him being more of a superior weapon out there in space. That's gonna be big. It's gonna probably hurt some numbers for Amon-Ra. But this guy's a matchup nightmare for linebackers, safeties, corners. This guy is going to be a nightmare for literally everybody on the defense. Everybody's going to have to count for him, and that's just going to open up things for LaPorta. That's going to open up things for guys like Amon-Ra. That's going to open up things for J-Mo. When you got 4.2 speed, a 4.3 speed running back that can catch the ball out the backfield, that can bulldoze runners, that can do all these little minute things. He can run with power in an A-gap. He can run sideline to sideline. And he has this speed and the quickness that no one's going to catch him. You've seen it in the Baltimore game. That was the only touchdown we had, but no one caught it. Not even Kyle Hamilton. No one could catch this guy. And I think that Oakland Raiders game was his coming out party. And it was I'm just really excited for him.
The way he breaks tackles is unbelievable. He just breaks tackles. Like, no one talks about that in his game, but the guy it is hard to take him down. He gains like 10 yards after contact.
And that's the key, is that you didn't see that from Swift. He was a great zone read running back. Mm-hmm. He was great at flowing to the sideline, cutting upfield. But he was bad at finding that gap and that hole that was big, wide open. He would go where the play side was, or where the play was supposed to go. And then he wouldn't finish the run. So it's hard to do that because the Lions have a diversity in their run game. They like to go up the middle. They like to trap. They like to use a wham, which is like the guard going upfield. They love to use something called gap concept, where the running back just reads a hole. Everybody's going to have a hat, and he just accelerates. But he has the determination to finish the run. He has the acceleration to finish the run, and then he just has amazing burst at the point of attack. So now I think a year later after the draft, when everybody was all confused. Not me, but everybody. I mean, this guy is amazing. And the sooner y'all get that, the sooner y'all see Barry Sanders reincarnated.
Yeah, I remember they drafted him, and everybody went crazy bad. Me and you were like, it's a good pick, man. This is going to be really good. So that was really funny how that occurred for sure as well. It says he needs more of an audio. Do I need to put his audio up? We could definitely do that. I can get it up for him a little bit here. Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be really, really good. And to see what he's going to do on this field is going to be absolutely epic. Now, another player that we both liked, we went ape crazy when we drafted this guy. That's Terrion Arnold. We're seeing right now in OTAs from minicamp. He's balling like crazy. He's looking really good. What's your expectations for this man? Tell the folks what they may not know about Terrion Arnold or how good he is.
I think when it comes to Terrion Arnold, you have, and I think people are going to look at this as a bad thing, but you have a corner who's played 250 snaps last season in the slot. So you have a corner that's going to be able to free up Brian Branch, and you have a corner that's going to be able to put Brian Branch at the strong safety. What that does is that allows Brian Branch to be more of a field safety and more of in coverage, and that allows Terrion Arnold to be that skill safety, which the slot is. A lot of people look at the slot corners like they're not nothing. In the NFL, the last 8 years, the slot position has changed. The slot wide receiver has gotten better, obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you have more talented individuals in the slot. So you have to have more talented cornerbacks in the slot. He's a cornerback that's going to free up BB, allow BB to be backside in the deep third, and he's going to allow, I think, maybe 24 catches this season, because he is a lockdown corner in that sense. So I see him struggling at first, but I see him taking off, because what he does do, he has this Peanut Tillman-esque to his game where he pops that ball out. So even if you make the catch, it's not guaranteed you're coming down with the ball. And that's how valuable he really is on the defense. As far as interceptions go, I would go 3 interceptions. A lot of his zone reads are very good. He likes to elude. He likes to confuse quarterbacks, making people think that they're open. His man is open, and his man is not open, because he has the agility to sprint to that football, get to where the spot of the ball, and high point the football and take it down. And we've seen that last year at Ole Miss versus Alabama.
Oh, for sure. He's special, and I'm so happy we got this guy. It is so funny that an anonymous general manager was making fun of the Lions and ripping on the Lions, and they said that was a bad move. And then individuals out there was like, yeah, it is. He, ha, ha, he. And they were all siding with this anonymous general manager and ended up being the Packers GM. So go ahead and decide with the Packers, man, if that makes you're happy about that stuff. But Terrion Arnold's a good player, and I'm super, super excited to see what he's going to do here for the Lions. What's your takeaway so far from minicamp? And, what's good, what are you seeing, what's bad that you're seeing? What's your thoughts?
Mitchell Ogunde.
Yes.
Great story that came out a couple weeks ago. He's a second-year pro, but he's making plays all around. He was a linebacker that converted to defensive end. He has a size to play defensive end. He has the elite size that Dan Campbell as well as Aaron Gillen look for at the edge. If you ever notice, we didn't play Houston a lot in that first year. It's because he couldn't seal the edge. This guy is a speed rusher that can seal the edge. He has that strength and speed to do so, and I think that he might have a great preseason. He had 2 sacks.
Yeah.
2 sacks, back-to-back plays on Hendon Hooker. He is one of those players that is, since he has that linebacker speed, but he has moves at the point of attack, he's going to be a player that's going to get a lot of sacks. So Houston better watch out.
Houston better watch out, and I agree. This dude just came out of nowhere, and he was doing really good in camp. He's breaking tackles. The only other person to do that was Aiden Hutchinson. That's really breaking, getting off their blocks and stuff. And so, a dude who you never heard of. I have him making the 53-man roster. You're 100% correct. I got it. He's doing really well. There's always a darling that comes in and does well that you don't expect. He is that guy. We just got to see it in the preseason, like you're saying. Just because you're doing it in practice doesn't mean it's going to translate. If he does it with the lights on, I tell you right now, we may have gotten lucky with this guy because he's doing really good in camp, and we need somebody opposite of Aiden. Because Marcus Davenport, we're not hearing a whole lot from him. Joshua Pascal, the same old names. Good, could he be that guy? Now, you may have said his name right. I destroyed saying names. I just say him Agude. Mitchell Agude, A-G-U-D-E. I think that's what it is. Real funky, but 100%.
Think of a good day, just fast. A good day.
A good day. Ooh, if he gets a sack, you already know it's a good day. It's a good. Oh, my God. I think you just made this dude. You just did. I'm going to tell you right now, everybody's going to do it now. We see it. If he's doing this on game day, it's a good day. It's going to be like, you're going to play like Friday song on there with Ice Cube, or the movie Friday is a good day. Or, man, didn't get shot up today. It's a good day. For sure. Folks, if you got questions, throw in the comment section. You can ask me. You can ask AG. You can ask whoever you want to ask. Let us know in the comments below, and we're going to go ahead and take that in for you. Hard to match Aiden's talent on the field. Yeah, I think Hutch is going to have a breakout this year. What do you think? I think he's going to get 15 plus.
Yeah. I think Hutch, a guy who had 101 pressures a season ago, a guy who had over 50 hurries by the quarterback, and a guy who had 11 sacks in the season and then another 3 sacks in the postseason. This guy is going to be big. He's a cornerstone of your defense, and that's why we have that cap space to make sure we pay him and seal him up in the future and probably roll over that cap space. He's a baller. He's got the All-Pro. He was almost Rookie of the Year. This guy is everything we knew he was.
100%. We got it right, man. Aiden Hutchinson is that and more, and he's always wanting to improve his game. And what's cool is he doesn't have a crazy ego. He is all down to earth, and so that's exactly what the type of players that they want. Okay, so let's get this segment started officially. Folks, it is the mailbag segment. If you got questions, throw it in the comment section, hashtag lines, hashtag whatever. We're going to take your QA, and guess what? We're going to make a video out of it, too, as well. So expect that on Saturday. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That's what it's all about. If you're watching this after the fact, make sure you're live on Thursday to get your question answered. Let's get the first one here from Kryptonic TV. Based on Hutch's own goals, if he doesn't hit 15 sacks, he's going to consider it another less than his best season. I agree with you. I think that is the case. If he gets less than 15, he's going to be I think he would be sad about that. Each year he's getting better, and he looks really good in OTAs and minicamp. So do you agree with that statement, too? If he doesn't get it, he's probably going to be a little bit depressed.
Yeah. I think also, too, he's going to have, strategy with it. You know, the Lions have historically lined him up in that A-gap. They've lined him up outside the defensive end. They lined him up over the nose, over the center. You know, he can get sacks and get pressure. It's going to be a strategy to it. Maybe one game he just goes off for 3 sacks against Green Bay. And then maybe one game against one of the better offensive lines like Dallas, he just gets 1. And, so he's going to have multiple games with multiple sacks, okay? And those half sacks are going to kill him. So if him and Houston run at the quarterback, they might just credit them both with a half sack. So it's going to be strategic. He has to sack every rep. I mean, he gives it all every rep. But it's going to be he has to compound games, 4-sack game. He has to take advantage of every matchup. I hear he's in the facility first at 6 a.m. before the coaches, and I'm also
Folks, make sure you go ahead and in the comment section tell me how many sacks Aiden Hutchinson's going to have in 2020 for this upcoming season /5. Just put the number of sacks you think that he's going to get in the comments below. Next question here. Hutch needs to be rotated, it says, in and out this year. He fills in for him when he takes a break. Who fills in for him? Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson, I think it was 95% of snaps last year is a ridiculously high number. They do need to start to give him a little bit more break. We don't need this guy doing that much, and at some point, you're gonna have issues there for down his career. So who would do it? It's because they're going to do it by committee. So the same people that you hear about it, that's who will be doing it. And we don't know exactly who will help him out, but they're probably going to make him on the field again 95% of the time. But we would absolutely love, for sure, for him to not have to do every single time, because we need to give him a break as well. Hashtag F the Bears. Gibbs or LaPorta will have more snaps in the slot. LaPorta did it quite a bit last season, over 200 snaps, I think. I'll go Sam LaPorta for sure here. Who do you think will have more in the slot or slot, take it up the middle of the field for Lions offense? I'm going to go with LaPorta. and he lost his audio. So he'll come figure it out here real quick as AG lost his audio. So we'll definitely figure it out for him as he is going to try to get this thing taken care of for himself. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this back on here. So how many Lions players get 500 yards receiving? We'll go St. Brown. Jamo will get more than 500 yards receiving. I know, again, LaPorta is a tight end. He'll get more than 500 yards receiving. I think that Donovan Peoples-Jones potentially could get more than 500, and same with Kalif Raymond. What about you, AG?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you right now.
I'm sorry about the audio.
Go, just do your thing, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, so question is,
who receivers will get over 500 yards this year?
Well, we got to go Amon.
Mm-hmm.
We got to go Jamo. Jamo had 494 last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go LaPorta. It's just easy.
For sure, 100%. They got to make up the yards of loss of Josh Reynolds, and it'll happen. Kyle Engelman, I find preseason rankings, strength of schedule, and win-loss prediction ridiculous. Do you guys think that they can tell which team will be excelling from one season to the next? I think a lot of individuals that watch football can. You look at teams like last year, like Arizona Cardinals. They didn't have a lot of wins last year, but they played very hard. I think they did really good in the draft. I think they're going to excel. I think that's how you can do it, right? You look at a team like the Bills. They lost Diggs. And you feel like their team is going in the wrong direction, right? You see the Cowboys, they lost players, they go in the wrong direction. You see the Lions, they're still in a nice trajectory. I think that the 49ers are going to be good. You can do that. You could tell what direction. Now, we can't say like they're going to have exactly this amount of wins. That's definitely not true. But you can look at the Panthers and the Giants and say they're butt cheeks and they're going to suck. Right, AG?
I think – can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely right. I think the whole thing is ridiculous. I mean, we couldn't even see that the Lions were 1-8 at one point and then went 9-8.
Yeah.
And then it's just predictions are so crazy, and then people just come alive. So yeah, I'm spot on with that guy.
Yeah, 100% too. It's so hard to tell which they say, well, Lions got the fifth hardest strength of schedule or whatever it is. But we've seen teams, 7 teams, it seems like every year, they go from worst to first or whatever. They're in the playoffs that weren't the previous year, and vice versa. It's a year thing. So I do think the schedule is tough, but just like you said, you really don't know. We don't know how health is. We don't know what players are going to be playing in those games. What if a starting quarterback? We're about to face, say, the Houston Texans. What if C.J. Stroud's not playing in that game? That completely changes it, right? So we just got to take it week by week, and that's really it. Hashtag Lions, I personally have never been high in James Mitchell. Do you both think that they will give Shane Zylstra an opportunity to be the third this year? Yeah, I have James Mitchell not making the roster. This is year 3. What I've been hearing about in minicamp, no OTAs, is he's really slow. He's the slowest one out of all the tight ends. And it's not looking good. If that is true, and that's what we've been hearing, I don't want him on the team because it's not improving. You got to improve, and he hasn't done it. And if he still ain't improved, who cares? I don't care where the Lions drafted him. What do you think, AG?
Well, the Lions drafted him in the 4th round in 2022, I believe.
5th round, thinking he was going to be he was a 3rd round talent in their eyes, but he just hasn't gotten better.
Yeah. So there was a player that we could have got or traded up for named Tariq Woolen that would have solved our cornerback issues a long time ago. And he went Rookie of the Year. And he had 7 picks. He has 6 picks in his first year. So I was real against this tight end, just knowing that the tight end class, when LaPorta came out, was going to be good. And this guy is just like, I definitely want him off the team. But I'm not going to be disrespectful. Just earn your place, man. If you hear, you hear. But I'd rather much have Tariq Woolen, who we drafted ahead of him.
Yeah, you look back at some of these drafts, and it's like, damn, that player got away. But I gotta say, we're used to that in Detroit, hearing that. But as of late, man, it's like, we're the team that everybody's like, oh man, like We should have got St. Brown. But yeah, you're right, man. Tre'Quan would have been great for sure. Yeah, for sure. James Mitchell, look, man, this is year 3. I give players 3 years. If they ain't developed by 3 years or not showing signs of it, that's when, after year 3, it's kind of done with that at that point. If you ain't developed after 3 years, it's time to move on. Detroit Lion, fan man. So the dawn of the new landing zone era of the kickoffs, which is weird, should it be considered a faux pass for a team to consider rostering a second kicker, a punter? So he's talking about, do you think that would be a good idea to have multiple kickers or multiple partners on the roster? Active roster, absolutely not. That's terrible. Practice squad, yes. Because I think you can elevate some individuals from the practice squad as well for emergency. I don't know if it pertains to kicker. But on an active roster, absolutely not. But on the practice squad, for sure. Because it's going to be weird. This new kickoff rule, man, and how they're going to do this stuff, it's going to be funky for a while. I think a lot of teams are going to they're going to try it, see if it works. And if it don't, next week, try something else. What do you think about all the new kickoff rule? And should you have extra punters or kickers on this team?
Well, I did a video with Stefan Logan on my channel, Spirit Detroit Podcast, and we talked about it a couple Saturdays ago. Y'all can go watch that video. But we had 2,902 non-plays from kickoff return. So no one was returning kicks almost as a fad. No one was returning kicks. They were just sitting outside. There. So now with the new kickoff rule, teams can pull. They're going to be 2 lined up, one at the 35, one at the 40.
Yeah.
This team is lined up. No more than 2 deep men back. So now you can pull a whole offensive line. You can pull a whole group of individuals this way, and you can actually create, stretch plays, trick plays. You can actually scheme up a lot better. Now the USFL has used this to their advantage, and they've had a lot more plays to benefit. But to answer your question about the kicker, I think you can get away with having 2 kickers on the active roster. This is how you do it. And the Lions can't do it. So if you had 2 kickers on your active roster, your punter is really bad. Okay? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Punter is but that's what I think there's a guy with a channel. He played for Indianapolis Colts, Nick something. I forget, but he was a punter and a kicker as well. He had to kick sometimes too. So
Jack Fox is like that, yeah.
Yeah, Jack Fox is like that. So since we have such a good punter, we won't carry 2 punters. But like Mike was saying, which is pretty smart, is keep that one on your practice squad. Like Jake Bates, to me, has earned a part on Jack Bates, whatever his name is.
Bates, yeah.
Yeah, he has earned a role because he played in game situations and won games with 64-yard kicks.
In game, period. Right. It is completely different from a training camp. You're in game with the lights on.
Where you have, because Badgley, who I like but not respect, Badgley has missed kicks in practice and then came out and missed kicks. He was 9 of 20 from over 46 yards. Per kick last year. So that's why we went for it on 4th down, because we had no faith in the kicker. Now, Dan Campbell's not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that.
Yeah, anything of a long distance, it's worrisome when it comes to Badgley. He's good like short distance, but the long distance, and that's what's going to creep up on the team. And we all know this. It's like all it takes is one of these kicks, like in the playoffs, and you can win or lose a game. And so you're sitting at the 30. You're sitting at the 35, and it's like Badgley is a less than 50%, and it's win or lose. So it's like, I agree with you, man, 100%. I agree with you, because we finna be pissed if the Lions lose a game over a kick. Wait, we finna be real pissed.
Yeah, check this out. You had 2018 Bears, who I believe won the division that year, had the best defense in the league, missed off a double doink.
Oh, yeah.
So having a kicker is instrumental.
Absolutely, folks. Again, thank you for listening to the Mailbag segment. Go ahead and smash that like button, and you could potentially be on a video on this channel. And with that, subscribe. All right, we're going to continue with the mailbag segment. The video was just made. I recorded it. Good old 12 minutes right there. See, that's how we do that bad boy. So do you think that the Lions defense will improve their ability to stop opposing quarterbacks from getting the many huge runs? Man, this is my fear right here, AG. We're good at stop and run. We're good, but the mobile quarterbacks, they beat the garbage out of us every single time on the ground. Will the Lions be able to stop the mobile quarterback this year? I am pessimistic. I think they're still going to get chunk yardage. We have issues against the quarterbacks that can run around. What do you think about the mobile quarterback? Do you think that we're going to get better here? Do you think it's going to continue?
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why we got Terrion Williams too, because the system that we currently run with our defensive line and our linebackers, our front seven, the system is a gap and a half system, which means that everybody's going to be responsible for a gap, and they're going to be responsible for the back shoulder. Okay, so it works well against defending the run. The vulnerability is the pass. So Terrell Austin has been famous for developing pass rushers as well as the meat inside. He can develop these guys. And whether it's bringing them along slowly, giving them a move set, giving them more tools to – you see what he did with Simmons. If you watch the Titans film when they went to the playoffs, they had 9 sacks on Joe Burrow. So, again, it's proven fact. Joe Burrow's offensive line was bad. Let's say that, but it's a proven fact he can develop guys and get guys there. It's going to be a pressure on the ends, though. We're going to need A-gap pressure from our guys like DJ Reader, McNeil.
Yeah.
We're going to need pressure to break that pocket forward so those quarterbacks can't step up in the pocket.
Yes, and then got to stop it.
We're going to have Marcus Davenport crash on the end, so no more Justin Fields escape. Or Caleb Williams escape now.
And I know they don't like having a guy dedicated to the mobile quarterback, but I think that they should have that little spy there. I think Brian Branch would be epic if they were to do that with him. I think that would be perfect. So hopefully they can do that this year. Brian Branch, to me, is a perfect player to combat the mobile quarterback. At least have a spy where because he can play safety, linebacker, cornerback. He's fast. He's got great instincts. His eyes. He's reading the quarterback. That would be the ideal player to do it. And if they're going to give him extra duties this year, please start to begin the process of Brian Branch stopping that shit, because we're tired of it. We got Kyle Engelman with the question here. We got young players who are going to be even better next year. What veteran Lions do you think may have peaked? Ragnow, Decker, Peoples-Jones. Ooh, great question. Ooh, peaked.
That's good.
They peaked.
I would say Peoples-Jones.
Okay, you do that one. Talk about the Peoples-Jones, and I'm going to still come up with one. This is a great question.
So Peoples-Jones in around 2021 was forced into a number 1 role, and he had 800 yards in that season with the Cleveland Browns. But ever since then, he hasn't returned to that form. Of course, they had Baker Mayfield at the time. I believe that's 2020. They had Baker Mayfield at the time. They had a lot of trust in that organization with the wide receiver room. Wide receiver room coach was good. Everybody was good, but they lost faith in him at a certain point. And then they brought in guys like Beckham, and they brought in all these guys. So I feel like he's peaked. As far as Ragnow goes, his only issue is going to be on the toe. And I think Decker is a solid, capable starter. I don't really see him as all pro, but I see him as a solid starter.
Yeah, you know what? You make a compelling argument about doing Donovan Peoples-Jones. Can he get above what he did over there? I agree with you. I don't think he can, just because we got so much weapons and they go around. And it's not for the lack of ability. It's just in Cleveland he was more of the man. Here he's just another guy. Because we have a ton of guys here, so I can understand that. I'll go with Frank Ragnow, just because of the toe. It's never going to get better. And, there's been rumors that he would retire. He's not retiring this year. Could that happen next year? I hope not. He said he's not going to, but just for the toe, I don't know if he can get past that. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean he sucks at all. The peak of Frank Ragnar's being the best center in football. Oh, God, Oh, no. Such a peak. He's great. Taylor Decker, I'm like you too. I like Taylor Decker. He's not. Is he the greatest left tackle in football? No, but he's a damn good one, and he's a leader of the team as well. So I think he can. He hasn't fully peaked yet. I think he I think you can still get a little bit more out of him. So yeah, I'll go with. I like your Donovan Peoples-Jones one, and that's probably would be the one after you're talking about it. I'd agree because he's not going to get above that. Let's see. Does AG have the capacity to use all the parts of the defense? I'm going to throw this one to my man with the big old smile on his face. I cannot wait to hear the answer here.
A thing about AG was he was like, he's using what worked for him in the 90s and the early 2000s. And that's a two-gap system. And a two-gap system was cool back in the day, but it left you vulnerable to the pass.
Yeah.
And then he had to steal a little bit. He had to look at other things other people were doing, which was a gap and a half system, which allowed you to play a gap and a half and just peek out to another gap for your defense. He has the complete parts that he needs in order to do his job, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. There should be no excuses because he doesn't have a Tariq Woolen back there, but he has Terrion Arnold. He has Branch. He has Kirby. He has Melifonwu. He has, and he has Cam Sutton Jr., which is Carlton Davis. He has individuals there. Like if you need Sauce Gardner, now we're doing so much. If you need Sauce Gardner, so we need to find a Sauce Gardner for you to do your. Come on.
And enough. Thank you so much for saying this, Kyle. Thanks for coming in here. Appreciate you, Kyle.
Well, if you say it, they call you a word.
I'm telling you right now, if their defense is 16 and backwards, I'm done with Aaron Glenn. And I'm just telling you right now, I don't expect that to be the case. By the way, I do not expect that to be the case. Okay, I think their defense is going to be much improved. But if they are 16 and back, you have to cut bait. You have to. There is too much talent now. There is zero excuses left. AG was given a terrible secondary last year, so I appreciate what he did with Iffy and Vildor. I know a lot of people don't like Vildor, but he was a much improvement from what we had, right? Cam Sutton was trash, right? And Manuel Mosley didn't play. And so they did the best they could with Iffy and Vildor. So that's why I don't hate Vildor. And a lot of people's like, you actually want to make the roster? I said, look, man, he actually was much better than what we had. I mean, it was that bad. Our secondary was that trash. Then we get Tyrell Williams, the defensive line coach. The one we had before apparently was complete trash. I mean, the way that Dan Campbell talks about this guy is like he's the savior here. So if they are 17 and back, we're talking at defense rank 17, I'm done. Because you want to know what? We had Anthony Lynn here, year one. We removed him after half the year of his play calling, and the offense got better. You're telling me if we're going to do that to Anthony Lynn the first year, we're talking about year 4, our defense is still stinking, you're going to keep him? That to me, that'd be a mistake. Like, at this point, you're doing this because he's your friend, and you shouldn't be. Like, at that point, right? But I like AG, folks. I think the defense is going to – I think it could be a top 10 defense, especially halfway through the season once all the pieces from the secondary gel together because there's a lot of new like Terrion Arnold, Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, Emmanuel Mosley. They only played like a handful, like 2 snaps. So there's so many new guys in there. So there's going to be some issues with continuity. But I think halfway through the season, you're going to start really see it go up.
Right, and there was a lot of positives this year. Okay, by week 9, he ranked 8th in top defense.
Yes, okay? Yes. And number 2 ranked run defense too.
Exactly. And,
positive.
And, he had the 41% pressure rate where he's blitzing out of the A gap. He's sending linebackers. He's sending safeties. He even created almost like a 4-1-6 because we see 3 safeties out there.
Yeah.
And safety linebackers. Like he's done a lot.
AG what he did last year, he made three big decisions that he made that made the Lions go to the NFC Championship. That I thought that I remember talking to you, everyone behind the scenes, freaking bench these guys. Like, it's not working. Put anybody else out there. I was thinking put Stephen Gilmore in there, the undrafted guy. It's just like they're getting torched, man. And so then he did. And then what he did with Afutu Melifonwu of using this guy as blitzing and sacking, and same with Brian Branch, was freaking magic. So, like, he has the ability to really scheme. And we've seen that at the end of the year. What he was doing with that defense, and he had no talent, I was like, okay, this is what we have been waiting for, right? Doing something different. The secondary sucks, so we're going to blitz the hell out of you with our safeties. Our big old safeties, and there's not much you could do about it. And it worked. So I believe in AG. I believe in him. Okay? I believe in both AGs, right? And I think it's going to work. I do. I do think it's going to work. And like you're saying, there was good. It's not all bad. It was good. His adjustments he made 3/4 away through the NFL season last year was exactly what he needed to do. We all called for it. Everybody did, and he did it. So let's see here. A great question. How about Terrion Williams? Lisa De Lorenzo. Again, he is the guy that Dan Campbell and this organization has been talking about. It feels like every day I'm hearing a story about Terrion Williams on this defensive line, how he's doing a really good job. Do you think that Terrion Williams could make this defensive line ruthless?
Yeah, I think he's going to give these guys a move set. He's going to really develop them. He's going to also employ different looks for them. He was famous for putting ends at the nose guard. He was famous for his NASCAR packages.
Yes.
And he can really develop guys. He really teaches discipline, and he teaches pass rush move set. So it's about making your teachers better so your students can get the most out of what they're doing. So I really like the move. I don't think our last one knew too much about the 1.5 gap. But again, Terrion Williams did. Terrion Williams did that for multitude of teams.
Yeah, he did.
And he also coached. Back with Miami with Dan Campbell. So they're really familiar with each other, and it's really a lot of respect there.
Yeah, very much a lot of respect. I respect what he did with the Titans. He knows how to get the best out of his players, and I think it's going to be dividends for this defensive line because I felt like some of the players last year reverted backwards a little bit. John Kaminsky took a step back, right? And you're like, okay, why is all these players taking a step back? If it was one player, AG, I would say that's on the player, right? But when you're seeing a lot of these players do the same thing, it's like, okay, at some point maybe it's coaching. And they believed it was coaching, and so they get Terrion Williams in here, who they absolutely adore, and the defensive line is improving. We've heard Aiden Hutchinson. We talked about it. He's improving. We talked about Mitchell Agood, right? That to me, when a player is improving their skill set, maybe it is because of coaching, and they're helping them out a little bit. And I think that this defensive line will be a significant improve, and Terrion Williams is going to be a big part of that, and I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to see what he can do with this defensive line. Let's see, question here. Who steps in if AG goes? So if Aaron Glenn leaves, it'd probably be Shepard. I think that's probably who it would be. Who do you think, AG?
I think Shepard, just from staying in-house,
yeah.
Because AG is going to get a job somewhere if he gets a job. But still, there's times where Aaron Glenn makes Joe Barry look like a genius. And there's times when AG is the best defensive coordinator in the world. So all we really want is modeled consistency.
We got some breaking news that just hit right now for our beloved Detroit Lions. The Lions draft class is officially all signed. Terrion Arnold just signed his contract while we were live. Just came out. There we go, folks. The Lions got all of their rookies under contract. And guess what that means? It's time to look at Spot Rack. Detroit Lions cap space now. Now all rookies are under there. Let's see how much they got saved because I don't know what he got paid for his contract. And it was less than $2 million out of the cap. We're at $38,501,000 in cap space. We were sitting at $40. So it's about a $1.5 million that we just lost the cap space. So all our rookies are signed, AG. Every single one of them is signed now. We got 38 million cap space, 38.5 million cap space. Breaking news, Terrion Arnold signed. Thoughts on this? Can't wait to hear it.
This is good. This is good. This is, I mean, where was he going to go, really? This is everything you want. You just want your guys under contract. You want your guys doing the right thing. And I think the front office is pleased that they got it good. I think my daughter's crying. But, yeah, everything's good. $38 million to roll over in the next year. I know y'all want to sign somebody, but I don't think we should.
We are recording right now, and so I'm going to make a little record again. Breaking news here, the Detroit Lions have signed their rookie cornerback Terrion Arnold to contract. Before the signature, the Lions had $40 million cap space. Now we're sitting at $38.5 million in cap space. We got all our rookie class under contract. Big deal for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion, because we have not had any sort of issues in regards to our rookies, any sort of issues of holdouts, any sort of off-season problems we have avoided here. And the Lions now continue to be really good in the front office, got all their players signed, ready for training camp, and this is good for Terrion Arnold. Let's talk again a little bit about Terrion Arnold and what he is going to bring for this team as a rookie. Now, AG, I do believe Terrion Arnold is going to be up there for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I really do believe that. I think Terrion Arnold's awesome. We watched his tape many, many, many times. We have watched this player from Alabama, and we both said we must get this guy. And we got this guy for this defense. All he has done has been starting in practice. He has a confidence the likes we haven't seen, and he is damn good at his job. Tell the folks about the work that Terrion Arnold can do on the field that makes him superior compared to players whom we drafted before high in the corner. Jeffrey Okuda.
The Bama boys are back in town. Terrion Arnold is a dog. He played 250 snaps in the slot last year. He also played outside, and I think that he's one of the best corners with the versatility that we look for. I think that he has a strong first step. I think he has a great recovery speed. Even if he gets beat, he's not really beat. He's just kind of fooling and cluing the quarterback. So I love the fact that Terrion Arnold is under contract. I love the fact that he's a pro. He's legitimately going to work every day. He's always been a good dude. And I know there are people that hate the 4.51. I understand that. But at the end of the day, he's been mocked at a 22 per hour speed when he's returning an interception. So what we have here in Terrion Arnold is an elite technician of the cornerback position. Okay? So a lot of people want these guys who have elite traits, and that's cool. I understand that. But he's an elite technician. He was well coached at Alabama. He was well considered for first 1 through 8. Or pick 8 through 12, and we got him at 24. So this is what we're doing. And if you don't rock with Brad Holmes, I don't know what to tell you. This is one of the most talented corner in the draft. And there are people who say Quinyon Mitchell was more talented. But Quinyon Mitchell didn't play LSU. Quinyon Mitchell didn't play all these other teams that we see on a daily basis that go to the SEC Conference Championship or to the Big Ten title game or to the 4 in the playoff game. So this guy is a talented cornerback, and he's going to be great for us.
Contract has yet to come out, but I just told you what we got from cap saving. Last year's the 24th pick, Deonte Banks. His rookie deal is a 4-year, $13.6 million deal and guaranteed of $6.8 million. So it's a tiny contract. So we expect that to be the same thing with Terrion Arnold. Lions locked up all of their draft picks, and now they got $38.5 million in cap space to continue, if they would like to, build their roster, whether it be at free agency or other ways, then roll the cap over. Lions are sitting pretty. Our number 1 pick is signed. Everybody's signed. Again, good job to the leadership of our football team. They don't play around. They get the contracts done. They're not messing around like other teams like the Bengals and, making their players angry. We pay our guys, folks. So, again, in the comment section, one word to describe the Lions completing the contracts for all of the Lions rookies. They're ready for training camp. Good to go right there. Blow up the comment section with the breaking news here that the Lions have signed Terrion Arnold. We've been on for nearly an hour. AG, tell folks about your channel, why they must subscribe.
Well, if you like all 22 content, if you like content that breaks down the game in simple nuggets and simple ways, if you like content that has intros and actual interesting stuff going on, I try to look at every video I do almost like a movie that I'm producing. So it's always going to be high quality content. It's always going to be fair to the public. It's always going to be a family show. It's always going to be one of the best shows that's out because I take pride in the quality of the content. Spirit of Detroit podcast alongside your channel. Thank you. My wife just gave me some food. But
good wife.
Alongside you, yeah, she's great. She's amazing. So alongside your channel, you know, I put us at the top tier of the list. You know, I love the channels that's out, but I feel like this channel is uniquely part of Detroit.
Uniquely, and that's why you need to uniquely subscribe to that channel. I got to get in a meeting here in about 2 minutes. Appreciate everybody hanging out. With that said, folks, I'm going to leave you with the greatest words ever spoke. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hit the outro. Peace.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it, and I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly